Hey, it's Holly, and today I'm going to do a makeup tutorial for you, and it's like just makeup that I wear pretty much every day. So like if I'm going to college or if I'm going out into town with my friends, just basically if I'm wearing makeup, then this is what I'll do if it's not a special occasion. So here we go. So I'm going to start off by showing you my actual makeup bag, and this is the Zoella makeup bag. I just really like it because of like the cute pastel colours and the eyes on it, and obviously it says Zoella on it. So yeah, I got this from Superdrug for Christmas and really like it, so it's good. Okay, start with this concealer. This is the Hide the Blemish concealer from Rimmel, and I find that it's really good for like if you have really big spots. It helps to sort of dry them out and make them not appear as fierce as they are. So just on my main big ones I just put this on and then blend it in. And then I just use this end of the brush to blend it in, so that it all just blends and just stays on the spots, and yeah, blends in basically. So after I've blended all that in, I then go with my Lasting Perfection Collection Concealer, and I have it in the shade Fair One. I then just sort of put a bit under my eyes like that, and then use this end of the brush to blend it in. So then, as you might be able to see, that it really helps and blends and gets rid of like the bags and the circles under my eyes, so it really helps. I then go ahead and use the concealer again to sort of go over my spots and like a lot of my face as well, because I want it to sort of even out everything, and I just sort of poke it everywhere. And sometimes I use this brush, but sometimes I also use this brush, which is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I like that because it blends in quite well. It's like almost as if you're wearing foundation, but it's actually just concealer, so it sort of like blends it in everywhere. So yeah, I'm going to use this brush today. So I then go ahead and just blend everything in, sort of like patting it around at first to make sure all the spots and bits that I want covering are covered, and then just sort of in circle motions just sort of spread it everywhere and blend it everywhere. I also like to blend it down onto my neck sometimes as well, just to make sure that I don't like get a line or anything, and it just sort of blends and looks more natural. So once that's all blended in, I sometimes like to go back with the concealer, because like at the moment I have a lot of big spots that are like really noticeable, so I like to go back over with the concealer and this time use the pink brush to just dab it in on the spots and not blend it around anywhere else, so it just concentrates on concealing the spots. So then again, I just sort of blend it in. I'm more of like a dabbing sort of motion to like just get it on the spots and make them not as visible. I mean, obviously they're always going to be visible, but it's just to make them not as bad. So next step is to move on to powder, and for this I like to use, which is this, the Barry M powder brush, just yeah, nice and pink, like the pink, with the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I have it in transparent, so I just like to sort of get it in, tap it off a bit, just sort of go all over my face, just so that it sets the concealer and doesn't make me look as shiny, because I have quite oily skin, so I tend to look quite shiny sometimes if I don't wear the powder. Just go all over the face with this. And I also like to put a bit down my neck as well, just like before with the concealer, just to sort of blend it in a little bit more, even though it's transparent, but I like to just be sure. Next step is to move on to eyeshadow, and just for college and everyday wear, I always use this palette, which is MUA Makeup Academy professional thing, and I just got it from Superdrug. It's like sort of just a cheaper one really, and I'm not really that bothered. And I also like to use the Real Techniques Dome Shadow Brush, which is really good for eyeshadow because it gets like right into like the crease of your eye. So I just like to use this gold colour here, because it just gives a nice shimmer. So I just like to go with this all over the lid and just blend it in everywhere, just to give like a bit more definition to the eye and give it more colour, so it's not just like blending in with the concealer. It just looks a bit nicer and gives it a bit of a shimmer as well. Okay, now the other eye. Okay, that's nice. Now move on to mascara, and for this I like to use the MUA Mega Volume Mascara in black. So just basically, and I really like the brush as well because it's really thick and it works really well. So let's go ahead with this. And what I like about this mascara is that it gives a lot of volume, but it also gives a lot of length as well. This makes my eyelashes look really nice. And then also I like to sort of go underneath, on the underneath lashes with this as well, just to make them stand out a bit more. Okay, now the other eye. Okay, and that's the eyes done. And then a lot of the time, sometimes if you see like on my eyelids it sort of goes on a bit, I just sort of like wipe it off with my finger. And then I go back over with a little bit more eyeshadow, just so that none of the eyeshadow rubs off, but it like covers up where the mascara was. Just a little coat of it. Okay. And now, sometimes also I like to, use this brush again that I use for my concealer to sort of shape my eyebrows a little bit so they're not like going crazy, just to neaten them up a bit and just keep the shape. Seeing as though I don't fill in my eyebrows, so there's like no need for pencil or anything like that. It's just sort of like similar to an eyebrow brush, how it just sort of guides them, puts them into shape till I like them. And then I usually go for my lips now, because obviously I don't want them to look like they've got concealer all over them, so I'll just give them a bit of colour. I like to use the Baby Lips. This is in Pink Punch. It's like a nice pale pink colour, gives a nice bit of colour. Just put a coat of that on. And then also I like to go over that with a little bit of lip gloss, and I tend to use the Tanya Burr one, which is in the colour Aurora. It's just a nice little pale pink, nudie kind of colour. and it just gives a nice little shimmer.